Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
And welcome to episode number 17 of the Comedeorological Report. Comedeorology, that's comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. That's right. It's a big deal that we got to episode number 17 because almost everything that I've been trying to do in my life has just not been succeeding. So, hey, why not the radio show too? But no, it's growing. We're now in 3 cities. So the radio show doesn't seem to be much like my work career or my relationships or anything else I'm trying to do. It's actually succeeding. So that's great news. We're on an 88.7 FM in Prince George, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Then you can find us Mondays at noon, Central Time, of course, in Winnipeg at CKUW 95.9 FM. And then that's also at noon, but on Vancouver time, 2 hours later, you can hear us on CFRO 100.5 FM Co-op Radio, coopradio.org. Frankie MacDonald, how's been the weather out there in the East Coast?
It's cold and clear skies right now. It's going to be changed to showers tomorrow in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and the rest of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. And the PEI is going to be really cold air all across eastern United States. That's going to bring a lot of rain in northern Florida, southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, Louisiana, and parts of Texas. Dallas is going to get a lot of severe weather this weekend. It's going to bring a lot of thunderstorms, on and off heavy rain, possible large hail, damaged winds, or tornado possible since the cold front's going through northern Florida. It's going to be cold air all across eastern United States, including Great Lakes region. And western United States is going to be really, really hot. So is warm air in western Canada, too.
Yeah, you hear from the man himself, Frankie MacDonald, co-host. He's out in Sydney, Nova Scotia. We'll be talking with Frankie lots over the next hour because the show is also about him. I'm your other co-host, Joey Only, but we also have in the room to start off radio weatherman Brandon HAWX over in Brooks, Alberta. And in a few minutes, we're going to talk to Paul Armstrong, who's with the campaign Mountains Not Mines. We're going to talk about coal mining in Alberta in the Rocky Mountains. Brandon HAWX, talk to us about the weather. So you said there was some land spouts. We have had days already of development in the prairies and days ahead more to come. What's it looking like?
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, the fire situation, things have gotten better up in the Tomahawk area, but the fire is still burning there. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But so far, they've got it under control for now. But there's still poor air quality in that area. So there's still that air quality issue, especially near Spruce Grove at times. We've also had some wild weather this week. It's been up and down, a lot of ups and downs at least. Tuesday, we had a secondary round of thunderstorms go through southern parts of Alberta, so I got to see another thunderstorm this week. Oh, it was great. And then I got to see another one today. Oh my goodness, yes. It's so much fun. Lightning struck probably about, I'd say, a couple miles away from me earlier today. So there's that. And then got a report earlier this afternoon of something swirling in the ground outside of Tabor, and we're still kind of confirming that. I don't know if that was a landspout or probably just the random dust devil, but we'll continue to investigate. They're investigating that in Vermont, Canada. And then I got another shot coming out of Manitoba, that is Gridwold, Manitoba area, of a well-defined possible thundercloud and possible landspout earlier today, probably about 3-4 o'clock-ish Manitoba time. And we're actually thinking that may have been a confirmed landspout tornado, but we're still kind of investigating, kind of finding out if the clouds were actually swirling at the top, at the base of the clouds there, or actually if we were able to see any type of rotation on that. So we're still investigating that, but we may have, somebody in the prairies may have saw the first tornado of the season. So pretty exciting stuff. And now as we go into the weekend here, we're still going to be unsettled at times with off and on showers, off and on thunder showers. And that's going to be the case through the first part of the weekend. And then things really dry out and we crank up that heat. Like, holy smokes, this is like July kind of heat coming in as we go into the early stages of next week with temperatures soaring into the low 30s. I saw a couple regions possibly reaching 34 by Monday of next week, which is kind of brutally hot. So there will be some complaints on that. That's for sure. Then we will be dealing with the temperatures cooling down by the middle part of next week. So we're kind of uncertain what's going to be happening through the middle part of next week. If we're going to see that cold front come through, that might bring some strong storms. We'll watch that very closely, especially Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the next week. Or another model's trending in, dropping in colder air on the backside of it and turning that rain over to snow in parts of Alberta, and it could be either a significant rain or a significant snow event. So we're still kind of uncertain on what's going to be happening there, but we'll be watching it, and we'll let you know next week if we're going to be in for another round of snow.
And just to clarify for some of you listeners on the radio, we do air the new shows on YouTube on Friday. So this is Friday the 14th that the show is airing on. So when he's saying next week, for those of you in Winnipeg who are hearing this on Monday, he means this week for you. So that's just some of the stuff that's going to be ahead. So we have lots of people who've checked in. So we're going to talk to Paul, who's in Alberta, quickly, and then we'll talk to everybody, and we'll come back to Paul. And when Rye comes, we'll get the two of them on together. But first, Paul, where are you in Alberta, and what's the weather been like for you?
I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and the weather's been pretty nice today, about 17 degrees and sunny, and we're looking for 26 by Sunday.
Totally gorgeous, and you're involved in Mountains Not Mines, and a lot of people in Canada aren't aware of the possibility. So I'd just like you to quickly go over that before we cycle through everyone, and then we'll come back to you and talk to you a bit more. The plan is to mine 6 mines, you were saying, in the Crow's Nest area.
Well, there's about 4 in the Crow's Nest area. They're all Australians. They're coming to mine metallurgical coal, which they use for steel making. This coal is going to go to China. They're doing drilling and building roads and infrastructure as we speak, even though there's a public consultation going on where they're not allowed to talk about water and land. So it's some kind of consultation. But it's the end result will be selenium in the headwaters of the rivers, which will be no good for farming or ranching or fly fishing or camping or any of those activities which bring in hundreds of millions of dollars into the economy.
Frankie MacDonald, should we still be mining coal?
That means that we have to be extreme careful mining coal because we got coal power plants still left.
Seems pretty backwards as we head into the era of climate change to still be mining coal. We will come back to, is there a website we can direct people to, Paul, for the campaign?
Mountains Not Coal.
So check that out, mountains.coal.com. We'll be talking to you some more, but I want to cycle through and say hi to everyone all across North America right now. I see Joe Stover has just showed up, and I want to say hi to him because you never know when he's going to have to go out and refuel an airplane. Are you in Churchill, Manitoba, Joe?
I am in Churchill, yes, sir, Joey.
How's the things been up there in the old Churchill?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. The snow is starting to melt just a teeny weeny bit. All the birds are back. The Canada geese are back. The snow geese are back. And the unofficial second fiddle to the national bird of Canada, the seagull, is back.
You got some seagulls up there already, do you?
Many, and the seagull is a surefire sign of spring up here, and the town residents celebrate by feeding them. So
that's why they show up, I guess.
That's right. They're not as aggressive as those, those McDonald's seagulls you might see down south. These are nice, friendly seagulls that come this way.
So you have a regular show.
Seagulls, it's spring, y'all.
Hey, Peter Galenko in Virginia Beach.
I didn't mean to interject there. I just don't like saying seagulls. Yeah, more to say, Joe.
Sorry, buddy.
So you have a regular radio show on CKUW Winnipeg 95.9. Talk to us about that. You were talking about us on your show last night.
Yeah, I was actually doing my recording. Like most campus community stations these days, I pre-record my show. And well, I mean, that's kind of a necessity anyway, doing my show in Churchill and then sending it down to Winnipeg. Yeah, so the show is called the How Do You Do Review. It's on every Friday on CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, just as this program is on. Every Monday at high noon, I believe, is when we're listening to this show in Winnipeg right now. So my show is just basically kind of like my life, a hodgepodge of whatever. And music and guests and kind of whatever, and kind of had a career, if you want to call it a career highlight last month when Peter Mansbridge joined me on the show for most of it, and he got his start in broadcasting here in Churchill, actually. So it was pretty great talking to him. So just things kind of like that, just general goofiness, and yeah, that's
how to get big is broadcast in Churchill, Manitoba.
That's right.
Well, I've always said take the countryside first, the cities will fall. Hey, who haven't we talked to yet? We got Noel Chaos down in Vancouver. How's your week been? How's the weather in Vancouver been?
Hi, Joey. Yeah, my week's been like pretty chill. Yeah, the weather's been really nice. It's been really sunny and warm. We're getting up to the early 20s. We've had a couple of nights where it still like drops down to the very low teens, but otherwise it's been pretty nice here. Yeah, I've been doing some supply runs for the tent city who just recently got evicted, and there's still some folks that just don't have anywhere else to go, so they're now camped beside the park. So yeah, other than that, just been relaxing, enjoying the weather. Took my cat for a nice walk.
In Vancouver, I think we've lost Gabriel. He said he's having some technical difficulties, so we'll get back to I guess we haven't talked to Peter Glanko yet, though, really. And so you're the last person who's in the studio right now. Peter Glanko, Virginia Beach. How is it going down there in the east coast of the good old USA?
Oh, it's going well. And before I get to my report over here, this is the Comedeorological report. So I must say you're looking pretty obvious this week, Joey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome. Anyway, we had this not too eventful as far as weather this past week. 50s, 60s, cloudy and a bit windy. But what is interesting is on the eastern shore, about 70 miles from where I am, as the bird flies, NASA has been planning a rocket launch, which was supposed to be last Saturday or 2 Saturdays before for the Winnipeg Monday listeners. And that has been postponed 4 days in a row now due to winds. And it hasn't been like extreme wind conditions around here, but they just prefer a very calm day to do the rocket launches. So that's interesting. And now it has been postponed to this Saturday. So those listening on Monday, that will it may have already launched by then, but it has been continually postponed. So we'll see. It may launch soon, but that'll be interesting. And I'll be able to get some footage from here of that rocket launch. So
that is awesome.
Something interesting that's going on here. Otherwise, not too eventful as far as weather this week. Looking forward to more summer weather here soon.
There's definitely nothing like a rocket launch going on here in Wells, British Columbia, where it's not been terribly warm, but the snow is mostly melted. The ice is starting to break on the lake finally, on the Jacket Club's Lake. Here at 3,930 feet above sea level, I've had just about enough of it. Can't wait to get back to Clearwater where it's a little warmer. We'll talk to you for a minute, Frankie, and then we're going to get to Paul and talk about Mountains Not Mines. Frankie, global weather. What's going on in global weather? Talk to me.
In South America, in Amazon rainforest, they're bringing lots of rain in Amazon rainforest right now. And then in the Argentina, it's been showers and lots of flurries and snow in southern Chile. And all these places, it's going to bring lots of rain, snow mixed in Norway this weekend. Lots of rain, snow, showers mixed. And in England, it's been cooler than average temperature. In Japan, it's been raining on and off it because there's supposed to be a typhoon aiming at heading towards China next week. And New Zealand's going to get cooler than average temperatures. Uganda's been a lot of rain, Congo, and all these places. And Kenya, it's been a lot of on and off thunderstorms. And in southern Africa, it's drier than normal, like Botswana and all these places.
About the drought in the southwest United States seems getting like it's getting really bad.
That's going to cause a lot of fires in California. It's going to trigger more forest fires.
Seems like it. We do. Yeah. We have one more person who showed up before we get into our content. Ronnie Griggs in downtown Vancouver as well. And after Ronnie, we're going to talk to Paul Armstrong from Mountains Not Mines. Ronnie Grigg, what's the news in Vancouver this week?
Boy, I had
There you go.
I had a really great lead there, and I said, "Welcome to the Tropic of Vancouver." That was my big lead. It's nice to see everyone again. It's been a spectacular week in Vancouver, mostly sunny, except for the one night I left my backpack outside on the deck, and it rained. And in the morning, it almost gave me a heart attack because I usually have a computer, an iPad in that backpack. But fortunately, I just had the headphones that I'm tuning in with, and they're working. So I got a bunch of wet paper, a clean backpack. Next time I'll put a little soap in the pocket and leave it out overnight maybe. But yeah, Vancouver's been great this week as far as weather goes. I just want to say, normally I'm on a location. Most frequently I've been at the recent tent city in Vancouver, and am intending on transitioning to different places in the downtown east side of Vancouver, just to do weather reports as it impacts the homeless population in this neighborhood.
So what's your work day looking like now that the tent city's closed and you're not doing that harm reduction work anymore?
Well, the past 2 weeks I've sort of just taken a bit of a, let's call it a little bit of a breather. I have a like a recently incorporated nonprofit of my own it's called the Zero Block Society, and I don't have core funding for that yet, so I have to, still, like, it's sort of a part-time thing, but it still takes a lot of work to get the projects of the nonprofit going. So I've been trying to get caught up on that mainly, and then I'll next week I'll probably launch into more frontline sites, pick up shifts here and there at Insight or what have you.
Back to the grind, buddy.
Yeah, somewhat. Trying to go easy. I don't want to shock anyone, but I'm not young, so I tire easily.
Well, you've been at it a long time, buddy, and you've done a lot of good work. So yeah, you deserve a breather here and there. Always come up here if you need.
I'd love to.
Gabriel Berardo is back, the rapping weatherman in
What's up?
the GTA, Ontario. Gabriel, what's going on in Ontario weather this week? What do you got for us, brother?
A great week ahead of us. Okay, guys, highs into the 20s. Finally, we are still under a frost advisory, though. Somehow, still under that freaking frost advisory still. But just one more day of it, one more night, and then it's over, guys. The 20s. Here in Ontario, 20 throughout the next 7 days, at least 20. I've actually been looking at the forecast. Also, it's 2020, 2020, 20. And
nice.
Well, yes, I mean, it's just sunny on the way too and everything. We're watching for some rain in like the 14-day forecast, but it's still kind of far out. So I don't want to, talk any of that yet. When it will be dry and sunny here in Ontario, wonderful, pleasant, and just nice, like pleasant, nice, sunny. We all been waiting for this, like finally, yeah. And now it's the weather wrap time, right?
Okay,
So now it's
yes.
the weather wrap time. Hope that there's no background noise. Do it the weather wrap, guys. Freestyle, Joey Only. Gonna be only here in the 20s, Ontario. Anyway, everybody got a head outside here. Okay, hold on. Yeah, everybody got a head outside. So here in Ontario, yeah, man, looking at it sunny, looking at the temperatures are rising up into the 20s. Hold on, yeah. Everybody better head outside here in Ontario right now with the sunny skies. Now everybody knows that, man, it's summer. Looking at you with a rapping weather, man. Now here with the weather, all I see is sunny skies. So everybody better head outside and stay up fast. Look up high and I see no clouds right in the skies. Now looking at this right now, look at the sun, looking at this from the 20s are on the way. Y'all just better go head outside today. You're never gonna sleep in the night because the weather's really nice outside. So everybody better head outside right now. So everybody gotta head outside with me and Joey Only. Yes, man, look, I only like the 20 weather. So yes, man, that means Frankie MacDonald could go ahead and McDonald and maybe even meet Ronald. But y'all already know that, man. Look at outside the weather 2020. That's what I've been seeing, like my vision. Y'all already know that outside, man. It's not feeling like prison. No, stay inside. Cause everybody gotta everybody go head outside right now and feel the sunny vibe. Cause y'all already know that sunny weather's on the way here into Southern Ontario and the GTA. So please, man, everybody really better stay advised and go outside and maybe have a nice little parade, because you could finally head outside, cause Doug will want to stay inside. But you know what, man, we're gonna head outside. Stay inside, no tell us lie, cause stay outside. This sunny sky, all I see is no clouds. Now I got my head up right in the clouds, in the sky. Head outside anywhere to the park right now, but make sure to be home before dark. On the wait, man, I'm outside cause late because the nighttime lows will still be in the nighttime road. Because man, y'all already know that everybody gotta head outside in the t-shirt, shorts, and clothes. Y'all already know that everybody got that right now outside, and there ain't no rain, and the weather really ain't gonna change. So right now, y'all just better head outside right now. Hey, thank you so much.
That's totally
That was
Incredible.
That was a freestyle.
Incredible, man.
so good,
That was
man.
a little
Well
weather
done.
freestyle for you guys.
Gabriel, GB, the rapid weatherman down in the GTA. You are listening to the Comedeorological Report. I'm Joey Only with Frankie MacDonald and friends here on CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George, CFRO 100.5 FM in Vancouver, and 95.9 in Winnipeg, CKUW. So we got Paul Armstrong here now from Mountains Not Mines, and we're going to have a little talk. And for those of you, you've all been on the show before, so if you got questions to ask, feel free. And let the man speak if he's speaking. So Paul Armstrong, one thing I do know about the Southern Rockies is there's sort of a narrowing area in that corridor where animals pass through there. A lot of wildlife passes through there. The Rockies sort of bow out into a wider area when you get to sort of Jasper or to Lake Louise and Banff. But that kind of area, it sort of narrows in, and you don't have that much terrain actually. And so many animals have been pushed into the mountains. So what would you think mining coal is going to have an impact on them? And of course, you got the water you were talking about as well.
Well, one of the things is that they've already discovered selenium in the mountain goats, which is kind of interesting. It's having a deleterious effect on their reproduction. Just to the west of the Crow's Nest Pass, there they have Teck Mines mining in Sparwood in Elkford, and they polluted the Elk River, and they got fined $60 million for that. And that's just the Canadian government did that for destroying fish habitat. The Elk River flows down into Montana, and the U.S. EPA is going after the Teck Resources to sue them for damage to the river. We're worried about that happening here on our side. We're looking at the headwaters of the South Saskatchewan River, which, by the way, flows right through Saskatchewan and Manitoba and dumps into Hudson's Bay. So anything along that route is going to get nailed. Selenium is bioaccumulative. It doesn't wash down or thin out or anything. It collects. And if you're eating the fish, it's going to collect in your body parts, like your liver and your spleen or wherever. There's a ongoing great concern about the dangers of selenium and arsenic poisoning. So we're just fighting the government. The government's having this consultation after the fact. They'd already given out a license to explore, so they're drilling and building a 72-kilometer road through the backcountry. So it's kind of interfering with the wildlife.
Each road pushes them further, right?
Yeah, definitely. And this is the habitat of mountain goats, mountain sheep, grizzly bears, wolves, coyotes, eagles, you name it, they got them there. Deer, elk. So this is going to have a deleterious effect because that's just one of many roads that are going to go into that area. So it's pretty well going to ruin the whole landscape.
The Alberta government seems completely uninterested in environment on the whole. I mean, that's become obvious.
Yeah, the environmental minister is really a bootlick for the corporations. It's always been that way. I think the Rocky Mountains are valuable enough as they are that people are getting upset about it, and this could be a long-term fight. There's already lawsuits being launched against the government and the Australian coal companies.
Yeah, as I see it, as I say too, like the Rockies kind of get a little narrow in that area. Then you have Sparwood, and you have Fernie, and you have a bunch of communities through there. So you actually have, because of the amount of roads that are already in place there, sort of a bottleneck for animals that have to travel north and south through that area. I just think anytime you cut a little bit more into that tree, it's a higher chance of it toppling over altogether, right?
Definitely, and the wildlife don't have any place else to go, really.
When they make the argument, jobs, you're taking our jobs. I mean, how many jobs are we actually talking about, and for how long, and to what effect? Also, when we're talking about climate change ecologically.
Oh yeah. Well, they're talking about maybe 200 jobs for the first mine on Grassy Mountain, which is a maybe. The federal minister is they've had a joint provincial and federal consultation last year, and we're waiting for the federal minister to declare whether the mine is a go-ahead. If the mine isn't a go-ahead, then all the other mines will fall apart because they go through the same thing. And so we're hoping that the federal minister, Wilkinson, will make the right judgment on that, because it will affect fisheries and wildlife. So
the Liberal government would be pretty hypocritical if they would allow this, especially with just how polluting coal is to be burned and used.
You know, it's a wreck. The whole environmental legislation in Alberta has been sort of catered to the industrial activity. You know, they just made it a bill one. It's illegal for groups to demonstrate against extraction industries. So if you're on blocking a road or anything, you can be arrested and fined $10,000.
Bill 1, like, is this? How long did it take them to come up with that? 100 years.
30 seconds, really. You know, just a little, you know. This government's just out of control.
Jason Kenney's a madman.
I got a
Wild
quick question,
Rose.
if I may, for you
Yes.
guys. Is there other options being pursued for energy production out there? I know that Canada has a lot of waterways. Are there ways to do like sustainable hydroelectric or tidal power out there that wouldn't disturb the fisheries? Or what's the other option that they could pursue instead of these coal power generation?
Well, hydro isn't available in Alberta that much. We use natural gas for power here.
Better in your opinion?
No, because the production of natural gas increases your greenhouse gases. So that's not good. And a lot of countries are getting off using metallurgical coal for making steel. They're using hydrogen, which has been tried in Denmark and is also tried in China. China's just opened up a plant using hydrogen for making, instead of burning coal.
This coal wouldn't be for use in Canada, though, you're saying. It would be to ship to export.
Oh, yeah, it's all for export.
Okay, I didn't realize it was all for export. Okay.
Yeah, it's all going to China and some other Asian countries. And, of course, they're going to have to ship it by rail out to the port of Vancouver. And that's going to have an effect on the coal banks and Roberts Banks there. Yeah, that's going to be an effect on, right across the big. They just had a train derailment in the Crow's Nest Pass last month, which caused a little bit of a kerfuffle because it nearly dumped stuff into the Crow's Nest Lake.
Well, it seems like there's a train derailment every week somewhere in Canada.
Oh, well, it's about CPR not maintaining their tracks.
Yes.
But all greed and no substance.
The idea is to cut the tops off mountains for 200 jobs, mega profits for the corporate backers, unmanageable disaster in the long run for Alberta, for its scenery, for its tourism, for its ecology, and then it all goes across the ocean to someone else in the long run. So there's really not a lot of benefit for Canadians for a project like this.
Well, the royalty rate on this, catch this, the royalty rate is 1%. 1 stinking %.
That's very low.
It seems quite absurd considering that China, that they would be able to buy it more affordably from Canada, because I know they have a lot of coal out there. They slave their people away out there, and they have the highest rate of coal mining deaths out there in China, so I can't imagine how they were getting it at a cheaper cost, shipping it all the way from Canada to there. And they've been boasting about their advancements in their percentage of electricity use from solar power. So I wonder if those statistics can really be audited, because I don't see why they're would be needing much more coal if they're producing so much more solar panels. Seems like an odd.
I think they're still a long ways away from not being coal dependent. And when you're talking about a massive country with a massive amount of people and a massive amount of industry, right? So the need is still probably larger than they can produce. And of course, burning coal is still for developing infrastructure, the cheapest way to go, I guess, right? So,
well, the big deal is that these Australians are having a dispute with China about coal, and so they're not accepting any Australian coal shipments. So what the Australians have come to Canada for is to mine it here, saying it's Canadian coal, and shipping it to China under some little deal with the government. So, and China isn't our big friends anymore, you know.
Have they ever been our friends?
No.
Hey, it's Trey Campbell. We haven't said hi to him yet. Hey, Trey, he works for ESPN. We'll get back to you, Paul. Trey Campbell works for ESPN Radio in Houston, Texas. And how's the weather been, Trey? And just catch up with you quickly before we get your question there.
Today was beautiful. Another Chamber of Commerce weather type day, but yesterday was not so beautiful, and it was raining. And I'm expecting more rain here very soon, so I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah, it was beautiful today.
What have you been working on with your radio show?
Well, I got a new logo and a new name for my podcast. It's going to be called The Main Entree. It's like the main entree, but it's not entree. It's spelled O-N-Trey, like Trey. It's a play on words. My friend Joel created it, and Frankie's going to be the first guest. I couldn't think of anybody else better to have as my first guest than the regular Mr. Frankie MacDonald. So
facts, bro. That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
How many shows have you been on this week, Frankie? I felt bad that I couldn't get on Tornado Hunters with you this week. I couldn't make my week work.
That means that I was on Rival Slim Show, Base Guy Show, and I did a video for the Gary Dino Show on Wednesday and on Monday, and I was on the
Ottawa, right?
Final podcast,
Ottawa.
and I was on that Ottawa Rap News
that's
podcast on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's the newspaper in Ottawa, right?
Yeah.
You had a cardboard cutout of you sitting in the stands at the Ottawa Senators game.
Yes.
Is Frankie the biggest Ottawa Senators fan you know? I think he might be the biggest.
He's the only one.
Yeah. They're not very good right now, huh?
They might not be very good, but let me tell you, their uniforms this year are like the best that they've been since year one. I'm a big aesthetics guy, and I would say that because Calgary went back to their old uniforms from the 80s, and Ottawa went back to their old uniforms from the 90s, and let me tell you, it didn't help their play any, but boy, do they look good.
Frankie, how would you...
Canucks didn't went back to their old uniforms at all. They want to keep the orca logo like a whale.
How would you feel if the Senators left? Because they might leave. They might leave, Frankie.
Move to Halifax, you'd be happy.
Yeah, they might move to Sydney.
They beat...
Just imagine if Ottawa Senators moved to Cincinnati,
Well, I guess they'd have to change the name of the Senators because Cincinnati Senators doesn't really make much sense.
It might not do well, but the Senators, yeah, that's a pretty good one. But here's something kind of cool. It's weather related. One of Cincinnati's old minor hockey teams, minor league.
The Verga.
I saw them play against the Manitoba Moose. They were the Cincinnati Cyclone.
Ah.
Oh, that's a pretty cool name.
Topical. Uh-huh.
So, for those of you, I know it's radio.
Ronnie's got a mouse.
But I've got a mouse. My cat just, I jumped up from my chair here because my cat just jumped through my window with this in her mouth.
Wait, hold up.
Did you just say what cat do you have, Ronnie?
Oh my God!
A ferocious beast.
So,
but I outsmarted my cat.
Is what you have. That is a skilled cat.
I do. So that's my weather report. There's a mouse in the house. Well, no longer. I got to get rid of it.
He's Canadian. Say mouse in the house. So Frankie's Ottawa Senators beat my Maple Leafs in overtime tonight, and and we got a matchup of Montreal. We got a matchup of Montreal and Toronto coming up, and Edmonton and Winnipeg. What are your thoughts, everybody? Joe, what are your thoughts for these playoff series? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, let me tell you. Number one, I've been waiting. I'm a big hockey fan, big into the history of the game, and I've been waiting my whole life for a Montreal-Toronto playoff series. They haven't had one since 1979.
The last time I was born between game 2 and 3.
There you go. So the curse is lifted. And Joe, you were probably around for those 80s Oilers Jets playoff series. So that we haven't had one of those since 1980, the 1989-1990 series season. And Edmonton went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. And we're really hoping for not a repeat of that. So what I would love to see is a Winnipeg-Montreal second round series, because if it's an Edmonton-Toronto second round series, yeah. If it's an Edmonton-Toronto second round playoff series, I just don't know what I'm going to do. So those are my thoughts. Jets in 7, Habs in 4. Sorry.
I think it's a Golden Knights.
Habs in 4. You know nothing about hockey.
It's gonna. They're gonna do. Habs are gonna do to the Leafs what Columbus did to the Lightning a couple years ago. I just feel it in my bones.
You are couldn't be more wrong. You need bone surgery.
Doesn't matter. Golden Knights are winning the cup.
Such a controversial guess. My goodness.
Paul Armstrong, he's in Calgary there. We've been talking to him from Mountains Not Mines. Are you a Calgary Flames fan?
Why? It stunk this year. They didn't do anything right. The team doesn't play like a team. It just too much individual garbage.
Jerseys look good though.
Oh, the jerseys look great, but the team sucks. In a word,
Well, maybe better to look good than feel good, I always say.
That's what they say. I'd rather look good than feel good, because at least I look good, Like
right? Like if you
That's
ever
a great way to look at it.
Like if you're ever gonna show up at a party, right? Like, and you're not feeling that great, right? You don't want to be looking like shit and just walking in there saying, oh man, I don't look nice and I don't feel nice, right? At least you want to kind of look how I'm looking, right? Like,
yeah, you look fresh.
I was just going to say the same thing, man. You look like that is the snappiest getup that I've seen with anybody in months. So
I look Amish tonight, apparently, and Gabriel is snappiest. You are listening to the Comedeorological Report on CFUR in Prince George, and CFRO Vancouver, and CKUW in Winnipeg, CFRO in Vancouver, CFUR in Prince George. That's a mouthful. Wait till I add a fourth channel. It's going to get even harder and harder. You know the rules of the show. You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Not during COVID. Please wear your mask. Don't pick each other's noses.
Hey, did you hear about the U.S.? It's over now. Mask mandates over. In America, done.
Yeah, I know. Canada's different though, which makes me think that the science is biased 100% on what's going on right now.
Gabriel, are you getting the first dose of the vaccine soon?
Yes, man. May the 26th. I might. Okay, right, and there is 2 things that might happen to me. Okay, I'm either gonna walk up just fine. Second might be, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
The second one,
I'm not gonna become a zombie. Don't worry.
The second one sucks. Like, it feels like you have a really bad sunburn, and I just stayed in bed the whole day. Yeah, it was terrible. I never
Maybe
get
you had a
fever.
sunburn. You live in Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
know,
true.
man. I don't know, man. I don't know about
Yeah, you probably
sunburn.
actually just had a sunburn.
That
The old
could
pink
be.
face
Hey,
there.
hey, Noel, are you getting the
I
first
think
dose
that's
of
just a
vaccine soon?
Hiroshima.
Who did he ask?
He's asking Noel.
Oh
Oh.
yeah. In Vancouver, we started vaccinating the downtown east side in January, and the rest of like Vancouver have been starting to get the vaccines throughout the month. And
Ronnie get
I'm
his
getting
first
mine
dose
on
yet?
Wednesday.
I've had my first dose, and I found that it really promotes excessive hair growth.
That's nice.
Hair growth.
You kind of look like
Bro.
you're in the band. Sweet.
No way.
That's right. Trey got it, and so did Joe. I've only had one dose, so that's why only my sideburns have come in, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hair
Joe, you'll
growth?
be getting your second dose by another company.
I don't know what I'm gonna, because I'm not gonna be here, so I don't know how I'm gonna do it or what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be going around and doing some small scale logging with my friend. The last couple of weeks I was in Clearwater, BC, hanging out at McCarthy Lake, and that's where I shall be soon enough. I can't wait. Every kind of bird that you can imagine is there. Oh, people are dinging. Every kind of bird you can imagine is there, and I totally love small scale logging work. It's totally
Who's the
for
next
me.
Drake? Who's the next Drake? Oh, me.
You're the next Drake, Gabriel. You can be the
'Cause
next
I was like-
Drake.
Because I was like just like looking at it, and I was like, wait, so what? Like, what
No, I
about
think you're-
Drake? Like, what are you talking about Drake? I was like, oh yeah, me, bro. I'm like the white Drake. Let's say the white Drake. You know, I'm
Yeah,
like
you
the
like-
Logic Drake.
You're like the new young MC, man.
Yeah, man.
You got fast rhymes.
You like
yeah,
Drake?
man.
You're almost
Joey?
as good as
I don't
Jeff
even know what
Dio
Drake
are.
is.
You've never seen the show Degrassi? You know.
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like-
yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
He means he's talking about the new Degrassi. We come from the old Degrassi
Yeah.
generation, bro.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about, Degrassi? You mean-
Joey Jeremiah, the
I
Zip
remember Joey
Remedy.
Jeremiah.
That's our Degrassi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
that's
we're
the
from
one that was always
we're from
named
Generation
after
X.
80s songs.
That's right.
about us.
We're Gen Xers, I guess. I'm an
You're not.
honorary Gen Xer.
No, you're
Yeah.
not.
I like to think I'm a Gen Xer.
Paul says he's a Gen X Xer as well, right?
Baby boomer.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah, I'm a millennial. What are you, Frankie? Are you what generation do you belong to?
Oh,
I'm
hey.
doing great so far. I'm in 1980s generation to 2020s.
You're
I
a
was
Gen
born in
Xer.
1984.
No, Gen X ends in 79, man. I
So
didn't,
he's a millennial.
Frankie
I
transcends.
didn't realize because what happens, we get so many people sometimes come on, and then I only see so many across the top of my thing here, that Brandon Hames is in work camp right now. He's been hauling truck and outside Quesnel, BC. Brandon Hames, how you been doing, man?
Just living life.
Yeah. Give us some updates.
We're really hoping it doesn't rain. Let's just say that.
Roads are pretty soft.
They're
So you've not been hauling?
We actually moved some today.
So spring breakup is getting close to ending in the mountains. But as you may or may not know, in the Caribou region this last year, we've had 200 roads be destroyed through ground movement, and it's become a major issue. MLA Coralie Oakes is saying that we are an event or two away from having a total infrastructure disaster in the Caribou. We have this report courtesy of CBC News from the Caribou here this week.
See it? Thing all up in there is sliding. Down here is sliding.
Rick Sutherland has been watching the roads in his area crumble. This was last Monday morning on one of them. This was Monday afternoon. It was the backup for the main highway connecting northern BC to the rest of the province. A highway also currently down to one lane because of a landslide.
Our secondary road is sitting in the river now. So now, and there we have another road over here that sounds like it's going to wash out. What then? We're all going to get boats?
These washouts follow a year the province calls unprecedented, with 200 roads damaged in the vast Caribou region.
We are getting very close to seeing the entire infrastructure network of this region collapse. They are vital for agriculture, for mining, for forestry, for small business.
The largest forest fire in BC history happened here in 2017, further altering a landscape already feeling the effects of climate change, according to experts.
And so going from essentially dry conditions down to very wet conditions, so flood to fire kind of situations. And certainly it's a pattern, again, that we've seen in the last few years in northern British Columbia.
This has all shifted. This has all dropped.
Several homes in the city of Quesnel have been placed on evacuation alert. Last year, Katie Harrington's family was forced out of theirs.
He said, just leave everything. I just need you to get the kids in the car and leave the property.
A year later, and they are still out, denied house insurance and provincial disaster relief because landslides aren't covered. The province says it is pulling together experts to stabilize the current situation, saying it is spending tens of millions of dollars for repairs and replacements. But there is concern that what until now has been unprecedented could become the new normal. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
Already, Highway 97 is down to one lane at Cottonwood, down on the old Hickson Road, where my friend lives. She's been totally cut off, the landslide there. So that's the secondary road between Quesnel and Prince George gone. Out to Nasco, there's road damage. Horsefly's been cut off. I mean, we're talking lots of roads really feeling the stress. And this has to do with, they're saying because the forest fires and the hydrology changes in the land here. And plus, to my experience, there's so little old growth forest left that we don't have the same evapotranspiration of water across BC. So we're not holding as much water in at the tree level. We're not holding as much in the ground. And this is what's happening now. We're having major landslides and major ground deformation movements. Has that affected you guys, or is there places where you think that could happen in the back roads you've been hauling?
Well, lately we've been pumping a lot of water away from the road because it's been accumulating, right? So it's like, it's hard to explain. I can't really get into detail about it. It's a touchy situation.
You're fighting to save the road. Maybe you'll keep using it.
Yeah, I've heard the flooding getting kind of bad up in the Caribou.
Well, right now it's not bad for flooding because we've had relatively dry week or so, and most of the snow now, like I'm at the 4,000 foot mark here, so most of the snow below us has melted off. So now it's the next step is going to be the snow at the 4,500 foot level and up. That's going to, and of course there's some massive snow up in the mountains here. So we're probably looking at June before some more high water advisories really start taking into effect. But always in Quesnel, you have the Johnson Street Bridge, for example, shut down because the water levels come up there. But I mean, driving over Quesnel River last week, I was surprised how low the water level actually is. So that could be a developing story at some point. And most of the high stream flow advisories in the Caribou have been ended. So right now we're kind of in the clear for a little while. As a forest firefighter, I always dread the idea that I could be filling sandbags instead of fighting fire. Money's money, they say, but do I need it that bad?
Are you anticipating, Joey, that you could have a busy fire season or flood season or anything else?
It seems to me that southern BC is already quite dry, even with a lot of the small rain squalls that have moved through. They haven't brought significant moisture to a lot of places. Although some areas have greened up really nice. I was surprised how green Williams Lake was already. So it's in the clear. So some places are in 2 or 3 for fire danger rating. So that's pretty good. That means you can relatively function outside without too much worry. Definitely if we start getting warmer temperatures, but I see a lot more rain in the forecast for BC still the next week. So I don't think we're going to have an early start to fire season necessarily of any major report. The real telling tale will come sometime mid-June to late June when the Pacific Ocean is kind of angry at this time of year. There's a lot of mixing of warm and cold water and a lot of mixing of warm and cold air. So we get these sort of afternoon thunder squalls here in the mountains. It's been pretty warm in some places, but a real mixed bag of weather. There was snow last week in BC in lots of regions, so in Quesnel is included. So there's this variable time of year we're in right now. So it would just, the predictions are BC is going to be very hot this summer. That's the way the bigger picture is. The models are setting up. But then again, they said that in 2019, and I sat for 2 months on standby with my crew in the hotel in Kamloops because there was just no fires to send us to. And we had a pretty awesome start to the season that year for a couple fires right off the bat, late May, early June, and then suddenly it was nothing for the rest of the whole season for us. So it's really been 2 years since I've been on a fire now, and it's my bank account's been feeling it. So a lot of us would love to have some work, that's for sure.
I guess we'll just see what happens.
I just jumped fire companies to someone completely different, so we'll see how that works. But as a first aid level 3 and a danger tree assessor and someone with a lot of experience, I have very little patience. Today is my 10-month sober. 10 months ago, I basically lost my fucking mind. Friggin' mind. Got to edit that out.
Congratulations, Joey.
And
good job.
Congrats. That needs to be acknowledged, Joey.
congrats.
That's great work.
Thanks, guys. That's my sort of thing. I could really use a fire season this year. And I guess being a sober guy now, I went and worked on that brushing crew with my old company. I just didn't have the patience to put up with everyone's attitudes and behaviors. And I just dropped my saw one day. Guy was like mouthing at me. I just dropped the saw and turned around, got on my truck and drove away. See ya. Got back to John's and he's like, well, you could come logging with me. And 2 hours later, I was learning how to use a skidder. I'm like, I was like, this is awesome.
Oh wow,
I love being a mountain man. So
You got the look down.
yeah,
Yeah.
comes naturally.
Yeah, I mean,
Comes naturally. I haven't even been wearing my cowboy hat lately.
You must be playing a lot of Corb Lund tunes. He seems like a mountain man too, right? Mountain ranching and all that kind of stuff.
He's a rancher. Basically.
Definitely comes from a real lineage of it. His family, real deal ranchers for sure in southern Alberta, and his mom's always been very much in favor of. He's been outspoken on the protect the mountains, not mines. His mom has always been vocal about oil and gas exploration in the Porcupine Hills in southern Alberta. When I lived in southern Alberta, I was quite aware of that. And I think yesterday or 2 days ago was 7 years already since the last time I worked and hung out with those guys. I saw my memories thing, memories of today. So it's been a while since I'm just not the traveling musician I used to be, I guess. Busy times, haven't even gone to see a Corb show since. So, but that was a fun couple days.
Do you like any songs? What's your favorite alternate tuning song?
Alternate tuning?
Yeah, like your favorite song in alternate tuning.
what does that mean?
He means like when you put a capo on.
Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm like so confused. I'm not like a music type of person. I don't like.
It's guitar talk.
Oh, okay, like that. June.
I'm pretty well known for
just like that.
For always just going straight regular tuning with how I play and do things. I've never messed with my tuning much. So I think when you find someone who does that, they're going to look at other musicians and be like, yeah, I love how he tunes his guitar in that one. And I mean, my favorite tuning is when I had the pedal steel. It needs repairs, but that's an E9 and that's a fantastic tuning to play a pedal steel on.
Oh yeah. So like basically like you'll like just sit on like the mountain wherever like you live and play it like country type of music, like the like that kind of music, right? Like the music where like you go like that and you go like I'm on the mountain, like I don't know. I don't.
That's a good summary. Good summary.
Yeah,
maybe a little
good
bit.
start to a song, Gabriel. I think you should go with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ronnie's probably seen as many Joey Only shows and Noel has as anyone out there. I don't know if that's what I do. How would you describe my show? I'm pretty ridiculous.
Sounds exactly
performer.
like you.
I've seen you playing. I would describe you as I think country or folk.
Yeah.
Or I think both of those could, like maybe a little bit of bluegrass once in a while.
Bluegrass.
I think would all be appropriate
Definitely like that high rhythm.
descriptions.
I like the high beats per minute. That was always part of my sound. The train coming down that track. Like to keep her fast. Like to keep her upbeat.
It's like
Yeah.
keep three.
Can you believe it's put together
No
a
way.
whole show, everybody? So first of all, I want to thank Paul Armstrong. Any last words on how people can find Mountains Not Mines?
Just look on the webpage or the Facebook page is good. Mountains Not Mines. Facebook.
Who wants to go next?
Me.
Closing statements. Frankie MacDonald.
If you want to follow my social media, my Twitter's at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. And Frankie MacDonald public figure page with blue check mark. My clapper is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My TikTok is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My Instagram is Frankie McD 1984. My Snapchat is Frankie MacDon. My LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Here's a copy of my book, Be Prepared, a Frank MacDonald Guide to Life, Weather and Everything. It's published by Nimbus Publishing in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Sarah Soller is the person that wrote my book. You should follow her on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good author.
Here's my copy. Be Prepared. And Frankie's got action figures which do not deliver to British Columbia. How come I can't get an action figure delivered to British Columbia, Frankie? This is tragedy.
You have to contact Ben Campbell for that.
I tried, and then he never got back to me. So someone's got to buy me an action figure and send it to me, because I collect. You know me. I got 75 Star Wars ships hanging above me. I mean, I need action figures in my house. I need a Frankie action figure, and I need a Frankie bobblehead. The bobblehead will deliver to here, so that's not a problem.
Yeah. So also, guys, follow my Twitter at GB the Weatherman, guys. I've actually been looking at this new thing on Twitter. It's the Twitter Spaces, I think, where you could audio call like a group chat kind of, and you could add people to it, right? And I need 600 followers, and well, sadly, I'm only halfway there. But halfway is halfway full, but halfway empty. But who cares? Follow my Twitter only for that reason, but I will be following you back. I do the weather. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, like wearing a suit, right? Like I obviously do the weather. Like, come on, like I'm not like a hitman or anything. I'm here to give you guys the weather, you know.
Started to think that you were a hitman.
I'm kind of an optimist. I think the glass is half full of cows.
Yeah.
And that's how you go. It's the Comedeorological Report. Here's where you mix comedy and meteorology. Want to thank you all for coming on the show tonight. Really appreciate it. I'm Joey Only. You can find new episodes every Friday on my YouTube channel, Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude. You can hear us on Seafer Radio in Prince George, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. You can hear us in Vancouver, CFRO at noon, and also at CKUW Winnipeg at noon. Of course, 2 different times, 2 hours apart. Winnipeg first, Vancouver second. And we should be back next week with all kinds of more weather talk and this and that. So thanks everyone for coming on, and we'll see you next week.
This is my prairie. This is my home. And I'll make a stand here, and I'll die alone. Well, they could drill a naked mine on my smoldering bones. This is my prairie, and this is my home. The water is poison, my calves are all dead. The children are sick, and the aquifers bled. They want a big pipeline right through Pop's Grove. But this is my prairie, and this is my home. I can't blame the riggers or the guys driving truck. They're feeding the families and making a buck. Take a close look at the stock that you own, 'cause this is my prairie, and this is my home. I don't got the money that lawyers can buy. I don't got my own government's laws on my side, but I got this old rifle that my granddaddy owned. And this is my prairie, and this is my home.